But anyways, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Ways to do alternate day fasting, because there truly is a lot of different ways that you can do it. And I don't want you to get too caught up on making sure you do everything perfectly, because there really is no perfect way. The perfect way is what works for you. I mean, it's kind of like keto, right? It's whatever works for you is what is best. Okay, so first, in case there's anybody new here watching, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Lita, and I am not a doctor, but I'm super passionate about keto and the ways that we can keep ourselves healthy naturally. But as always, please do your own research, talk to your doctor, and remember that what I'm saying is just my opinion and it's not medical advice. So please talk to your doctor about anything, especially fasting. It is really important that you talk to your healthcare professional before you embark on anything like this, and just know that this is a right fit for you. Okay, so we're going to be talking about ways to do alternate day fasting. Now, today is actually day one of our 7-day alternate day fasting challenge. And the way that I'm doing it this time for me is I'm doing it in what I would consider the longest stretch of time between eating, which is 48 hours. And I'm going to go into the different options, but that's what I'm doing this time because it's been a long time since I've done any kind of extended fasting. And I just really wanted to push it. And what kind of surprised me, I haven't done anything like this for quite a long time. I've done, lately I've been doing some OMADs and some 16/8s and things like that. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel today, especially after having 2 days of Thanksgiving, which I kept it pretty keto, but let's face it, it's not really going to be as perfect keto as normal. I feel fantastic today. I don't know about you guys, and maybe you could comment in here for people that have done extended fasting, but maybe you haven't done it for a while and you get back into it. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how easy it feels to me today. It's almost like my body completely recognizes what I was doing quite often. And it's like, yeah, oh, here we are again. Okay, jumping right into it. Like, I feel absolutely amazing. Yeah, so I was kind of, I wasn't expecting to feel crap or anything, but I was wondering if maybe I would get some hunger pangs or something like that. And I haven't, not at all. But I'll tell you my little system that I do during the day, and, probably makes a really big difference. Hello, Rochelle. Good to see ya. Yeah, I know that I think you're doing the fasting challenge today. You were talking about it in the group today. So maybe you could tell us if you did decide to do it. Um, Sadie says, hi. Awesome. Okay. So, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. Okay. So, what I want to tell you about the three main ways that people do the alternate day fasting. And you can go like on YouTube, there's people that have actually lost significant amount of weight doing alternate day fasting. That was their main reason, and they've got their stories and they say how they do it or whatever, and there's lots of different ways to do it. But from what I've seen out there and based on my experience, these are sort of the three main ways I see to do it. One is the 36 hours of fasting. So this is when you fast for the first day. Then the next day you start with breakfast and you go from there. You can eat 3 meals, 2 meals, or 1 meal. If you're doing 36 hours in between, I do recommend that you track your macros in this case, just to make sure that you don't go over on your calories. The next way to do it is the 42 hours of fasting. And this is when you fast for the first day. Then on the second day, you would start eating at lunchtime. Most people would do 2 meals, lunch and dinner. And again, I kind of recommend tracking your macros if you're doing this, because you're having 2 meals and it could be easy to overeat. The third way is the 48-hour time of fasting. And this is what I'm doing this time. It's probably the longest stretch that, well, it is the longest stretch. This is when you fast for the first day, and then the next day you don't eat until dinner. There's another way to call this. Dr. Berg calls this the OMAD every other day. He talks about that on YouTube if you want to look it up. And so basically, it's like a 48-hour fast. You're basically eating dinner every second night. In this case, you can track your macros if you want to. If you did, I would say the main reason would be so that you're getting enough protein and that kind of thing. I don't know that it's necessary. If you're only eating every second day, like one meal every second day, the odds are extremely low that you are going to go over any kind of caloric surplus at all. Like there'd be no way that you could eat that. And I think that when you're doing something this strict, I think you should just, well, I mean, not should, but you do you. But I don't know that you need to add on top of the already strict protocol that you're doing by tracking your macros too, because that's just like another level. You can totally, if you're into it. I'm not going to be. I'm just kind of just doing my own thing, making sure that I'm eating nutrient dense foods. That's a huge priority for me. And I'm going to tell you kind of like how I do mine, and making sure I'm eating super, super healthy. I'm getting in all my nutrients, my protein, my fat, all that kind of stuff, keeping the carbs low. But I'm not going to be tracking my macros because I feel like this is a strict enough protocol. And I need to have a little bit of freedom in order for me not to probably feel overwhelmed about the whole thing. Um, Okay, so I just want to see what you guys are saying. Catherine is doing the 36-hour fast. Fantastic. Hi, Bonnie. Good to see you. Kim, oh, I'll have to start tomorrow. Missed the first day today. Absolutely. Start tomorrow. Start whenever you want to. We'll be doing this for 7 days, so you'll still be with us. And there'll be a post goes up every morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. And as soon as I wake up, I pin it in announcements so that you guys can find it easily. But anyways, yeah, join in whenever you can. Oh, Raylan's doing the 48 hours. All right. I got a friend in this with me. Yeah. So how are you doing today? Besides feeling chilly, Raylan, tell me how you're feeling. Okay. I'm going to go to the next part. What can I have during the fasting window? This is a question that people ask a lot. This is where I really want you guys to not get hung up on what are the rules? Because really, there's two ways to look at it. This is a total personal choice, by the way. I really feel that everyone needs to do what works for them. But if your absolute, you have to pick one. If your absolute main reason for doing fasting is for losing weight, and there's absolutely no shame in that, that's great if that's what your main priority is. You can have things like MCT oil powder, bone broth, the broth, and my intentionally bare bone broth protein powder. You can have those things. Dr. Fung and a lot of the other doctors, Dr. Berg, they talk about these things being very helpful during the fasting time. Please look in guide number 6 in our group if you want more information in there, because I have put in a lot of information about fasting. Also, Thomas DeLauer talks about it. They're all great during your fasting time if fat loss is your number one. If your number one is autophagy, right? Autophagy is when we're getting rid of our toxins, getting rid of all the sort of like cellular garbage in our body. And our absolute main reason for doing this is to just purge ourselves of this. If that is your number one, then, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky because there's actually no way of really proving this, but some doctors say that for maximum autophagy, then you want to have absolute 0 calories during your fasting time. But even they say there really is no way of testing autophagy. There's no way of knowing 100% sure if you do have a little MCT oil, etc., is that actually lessening the autophagy? So they can't say for sure. They're going by kind of guessing. So you really have to do what works for you. Myself personally, I do a combination of both. So what I do is when I'm doing an extended fast like this, I wake up fasted, obviously. I've been sleeping all night. I wake up fasted and I will just have my digestive drink first thing in the morning. You know, guys know I talk about that, and that's also posted in the announcements there. I do an image in there of what my good digestive drink is. but that has apple cider vinegar in it. It has some, prebiotic fiber, that kind of stuff in it. And I will have that first thing in the morning, and then I will have black coffee in the morning, and then just water up until lunchtime. So I'm not having my MCT oil fatty coffee. I'm not having bone broth or anything like that in the morning time. At lunchtime, and this goes regardless whether I'm on a fasting day or on an eating day, I have my fatty coffee. I love my fatty coffee. It makes me feel amazing. It makes my brain work better. I have lots of energy, health wise. It's fantastic. And it helps me to go for the rest of the day. I have tried going 0 calories, and it just didn't work for me. Myself personally, I just didn't feel as good. So that's why I said what I mean is I split the difference. So I kind of just do the 0 calorie thing. I mean, okay, apple cider vinegar, whatever. You know what? All the experts say apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, don't even count those things. So in my digestive drink, I wouldn't even count that as a calorie at all. I am definitely not that strict, because I think my health is really, it's an important factor. And there's certain things that I want to have for my health. But anyways, so I will have the 0 calories up until lunch. At lunchtime, I have my fatty coffee. In the afternoon, I have my BHB drink. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's this one here. It is absolutely fantastic. It is an electrolyte drink. It's a BHB drink. It has your sodium, it has your potassium, it has magnesium, it has everything in it. It is just like the holy grail. And especially when you're fasting, this thing is just absolutely phenomenal because it actually takes away your hunger. It gives you energy. It is caffeine free, FYI, so you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, I always have that in the afternoon. I had that a couple hours here before I came on. And then for the rest of the day, today, because it's a fasting day, I'm just going to have probably some tea. If at any time I feel hungry, and let me preface this by saying, first thing I always do is I drink more water. I drink water all day long, but I would drink tons of water. And if I go, yeah, I am really starting to feel actual hunger, then I will consider taking, sorry, my stuff is just falling all over the place. MCT soft gels are phenomenal. These are really great. I'll pop 4 of these or something. They're only 10 calories each. And they really, really help me if I'm getting hungry, or I will just have another fatty coffee. If that's what I need to get through my fasting time, absolutely 100%. I sort of look at it like, I don't okay, sorry. I do automatically have my fatty coffee at lunch. That's like 100% for sure. I always have that. But what I mean is after that, I don't automatically feel like I have to have fat unless I feel like I really need it. After that lunchtime one, which really carries me through, I feel like having one of those every lunch works really great for me. But if I need it more, I have more. So I just wanted to say that don't feel like you are ruining your fast because you have that. Even Dr. Fung, if you read his fasting book, he talks about having some bone broth. If that's what you need, is to have the bone broth. So again, if we're doing this for fat loss, if that is the main reason, don't worry about having some of these things. I hear people all the time say things like, "Oh, I don't want to break my fast," or "Oh, that breaks your fast," or whatever. That's really actually old information. All of the experts now have really changed their tune on that. Every single one that I follow have changed their mind on that. And why? Because new research has come out, new science has come out. But I also think it's super important that you do what works for you. If you do absolute 0 calories when you're fasting and you feel fantastic, do that. Absolutely do that. I just don't want you to kind of get caught up on what sometimes people say out there. I think it's better to go with how you feel, but also kind of listening to what the experts have to say, and not just one, right? I listen to a lot of different people, and then I kind of take all of that information and kind of form what I think works for me. And that's what I really encourage you guys to do too. Also, what I say, I'm just telling you what I do and what really works for me. That doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. Okay, I'm just going to go back here and read some things before I keep going on. Janelle, also not tracking tomorrow when we eat. I don't have the time. Exactly. And you know what, Janelle, we do so many other things where, like, we had when we do our 7-day macro tracking challenge, we are tracking meticulously during that challenge. There are other times when we are really meticulously tracking certain things because we just want to make sure we're on point and maybe reach those different levels. But I don't think it's necessary all the time. For me, I am very happy not to track. Tomorrow night when I eat, I'm just going to eat, and I'm going to eat lots, and it's going to be super healthy, and I'm going to fully enjoy it. I'm not even going to have the mindset of worrying about what every little calorie is or whatever. Rochelle says, I'm doing 42 hours. Awesome. Raylene, great. Hungry, but it passes. Okay. So I don't know if you're hungry right this second, but definitely have some water, have some BHB, have a cup of tea, take a little walk. It's amazing how when you feel that hunger come on and you get yourself busy doing something, how it just changes. But like I said before, if you have that feeling and you go, look, I've tried all these little things and I truly feel hungry, grab some MCT oil. Honestly, grab some MCT oil, have a fatty coffee, pop some capsules, do it. I mean, obviously you're feeling really, really bad and you have to eat something, then go ahead and eat. But it is extremely rare that I've heard anybody say that they felt like they really, really had to eat before they were willing to break their fast. But it does happen sometimes, especially if you weren't doing a lot of pretty good keto beforehand, or if you have no experience fasting. That definitely can happen. Patty, I'm doing 48-hour OMAD, but we'll try to do my meal earlier in the day, or I think it will interfere with my sleep. Well, you have to test out and see what works for you. Personally, myself, I've done pretty regularly. I used to do 72-hour fasts with very little, just like the fatty coffee, like I said, at lunchtime, and I slept like a dream. So, but everyone's different. So you definitely have to test it out for you and see how you do. Janelle, I'm so proud of Raylyn for doing this with us. It's her first fast. Oh, congratulations. That's awesome, Raylyn. We're rooting for you. Please post any questions that you have in our daily post that's in announcements, and let me know if you have any questions, but that is really awesome. Oh, here we go. Raylyn, what if you want to get rid of fat and purge the body? So here's where I say that the evidence is just not out on if it actually breaks autophagy if you have any calories. I am not convinced at all. I have watched and listened to all the experts out there, and I just don't see any compelling evidence at all about that. So my feeling is that just doing my normal fast, and I am having some MCTs during my fast, I don't feel like I am breaking the autophagy, and I feel like I am actually purging. And you know how you can kind of tell? Here's just like a little test, and I don't want to gross you out or anything, but like your tongue will turn white. You will see things like there are things that not everybody gets all of these things, but things like itchy ears, white tongue, um, mucus might start coming, maybe a little bit of a cough or something, gross kind of taste in your mouth. Sometimes also like your urine might start to smell. These are all little signs of your body ridding itself of toxins. And I am telling you, when I fast, I always have my MCTs and I get a few of those every single time. So that doesn't happen normally. That when I'm doing my normal keto, those things just don't happen. But when I am doing my fasting and I am having my MCTs, those kind of things happen all the time. So that's how I know I'm on the right track. I feel like I'm absolutely getting some amazing autophagy at the same time that I'm losing fat. So to me, it's a win-win. Now, would I want to have like 3 fatty coffees a day? No, I wouldn't, because my fatty coffee is like something like 250 calories. And I do feel like I do want to have some periods of time where my body isn't having calories. So it is working just that much harder of grabbing the fat that I have in my body. But I feel like I want to have some MCTs because I feel like it primes the pump. Do you know what I mean? Like just giving myself some MCTs is helping my body going, oh, yeah, I want fat. Oh, yeah, I want to live on fat. I'm getting a little fat now. Oh, now I'm not getting fat. Oh, I'm going to reach in my body and get fat. Again, there are lots of people that do it with absolute 0 calories, and that's great for them. I don't feel like it works as well for me. I have actually done extended fasting with absolute 0 calories, and I didn't lose as much weight as I do when I'm on my MCTs. I also don't feel as well. And I also felt like it was a real struggle to get to the end. And that's sort of my whole goal is here is to go longer. So you guys, honestly, you have to do your own research. Follow the gurus. Look up Dr. Berg. Look up Dr. Fung. Who else is it that's super good? Stephen Finney is really good. There's a lot of Mindy Pels. She's also really good. Who else? Just off the top of my head. Sorry, I didn't have these all written down, but you can look them up. And when you're searching in YouTube, do something like Dr. Berg break a fast, something like that, and then see what comes up. And make sure too, when you're watching the video, make sure you check the date. Because if it was from 2 years ago, the information might be different. Also, Thomas DeLauer, all of them now have really changed their tune on what breaks a fast, and they kind of explained. Actually, Thomas DeLauer, I think, did a really great job of explaining it. So did Dr. Berg. Really great way of explaining about what is your main reason for doing it. But even if you are having some MCTs, you are absolutely getting autophagy too. So I don't want to persuade anyone, to doing anything that you don't feel is right for you. I'm just telling you from what I have learned out there and what feels right for me. So that's all I'm passing on. You guys have to do what works for you. Catherine, also, will you be taking vitamins during the fasting challenge? Yes. And thank you for bringing that up, Catherine. You bring up a really good point. And this is another reason why I personally have my fatty coffee at lunch, because I have certain vitamins that work better with fat. And like vitamin D, for example, vitamin D works really well when you take it with fat. I actually don't know if it works. I mean, I think you would always get it even if you're not, but it works absolutely better with fat. And I take my vitamin D every single day. And so that is what I do is I'll take a couple little supplements. I know it doesn't matter first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. I'm okay with that. But my bulk of my supplements I take at lunch after I've had my fatty coffee. It feels better in the stomach, right? If you guys have ever taken a lot of supplements on an empty stomach, it sometimes doesn't sit right. I've actually hurled before on when I've taken too many on an empty stomach. And then also, generally speaking, most work better with fat. There's only certain ones, and you would know that by reading the label, that work better on an empty stomach. So that's another reason why I like to have my fatty coffee every single day at lunch, because that's when I have most of my supplements. Thank you for bringing that up. I actually totally forgot about that. Rochelle, I have had trouble in the past with lasting a long time with no calories. I can't seem to last nearly long. Exactly. I can't either. I really don't feel well if I go that long without any calories. And I find the fatty coffee is just, it really, really helps in so many different ways. Also, it's something that I can look forward to. I know that every single day, whether it's a fasting day or an eating day, I have that to look forward to at lunch. It mentally, mentally, I need to know that I have got that to look forward to. But like I said, I feel like I do so much better. But here's the thing, guys, you can test for yourself. So, however you're doing it this time, I suggest you keep doing it. I mean, unless you're not feeling good, keep doing it this time and see how you do. If you want to test your blood sugar, test your blood sugar. If you want to test your ketones, do that. If you want to weigh yourself at the end and see what you lost or whatever. And then the next time you decide to do this, do it in the other way and see how you feel, see how your ketones are, see how your blood sugar is, see how much weight you've lost. Like I said, I've done this quite a few times over the years and I've tested for myself. And for me, hands down, everything works better when I have my MCTs during the day. I have my BHB, have my digestive drink. I got it down to what works for me. But you guys have to honestly do what works for you. I've heard people when I'm watching these YouTube videos and stuff, and I've seen people in there say, I am absolutely totally strict and I don't have one single calorie. I have black coffee and water, and that's all I do for 48 hours. And they feel like $1,000,000. And that's super awesome. But the funny thing is, one thing I have kind of noticed that most of the people that say that are men. And I think that there is something with our hormones as women. And I think that we just function better with some fat. I think it's just kind of like a intuitive thing that our body needs to keep our hormones regulated properly. And it helps us to feel calmer. And I also noticed that when I was trying, this is just a little sidebar here, but if anybody suffers from anxiety or depression or anything like that, I noticed in the times that I was testing going just strictly 0 calorie, and I will say that I was having black coffee. I felt like I had a lot of anxiety. It was like my adrenal glands were too taxed. And for going that long of a period of time with only, that caffeine and water, and I just didn't feel like myself. I was agitated and I was really anxious. I was nervous. And again, once I started doing the MCTs every day, that has totally gone away. So just little things to look at. I just want you guys to pay attention to how you're feeling and really go with that. Don't worry about some arbitrary rule that someone has talked about out there. You have to do what works for you. I'm telling you, no matter what you decide to do, you're going to lose weight. Okay, that's a given. You're going to lose weight either way, but you're going to be more successful if you're doing it in a way that feels right for you, right? Because then you're going to be able to do it longer. Let me see. Patty, I agree with you about having some projects for this week on fasting days. Oh, yeah. Projects are like, they're just a mainstay. Like, I have my list of things. I have my big storage room that I want to get to. I've got my garage I want to clean out. I got some stuff in the garden that I've got to pull out before it freezes up here. Keeping yourself busy is so important. It really, really helps. Sitting around really makes it hard. And especially if you're doing things that, let's say, you associate it with food. So, for example, let's say that in the evenings you save yourself a little bit of keto food and you like to watch a show in the evening or something like that, and you have that little keto thing or whatever. Maybe not a good idea to be watching TV at night if you feel like that's going to be a trigger. Some people can sit down with their family when they're eating and be okay with it. It depends on the day. It really depends on the day. If I walk in the room and hubby is heating up his food or cooking his food and I smell it and I feel like the hunger pangs are coming up, I'll go for a walk. I'll go downstairs. I'll say, do you mind just opening a window when you're done, or turning on the fan or something, just to kind of get the air out? And then once that's all cleared out, then I can, come in the room or whatever. But it really depends on the day. And I just try to stay away from anything that kind of triggers me, because once you start getting that feeling, it's just a little bit harder to get out of it. Rochelle, do these extended fasts help with plateaus? They absolutely do. They absolutely do. So there's different ways that you can look at it, Rochelle. You can look at these extended fast as like some people will say, oh, I'll do like a week like we're doing, 3 times a year or 2 times a year or something like that. Or what sometimes people do, and I think I might incorporate this after we're done this challenge, is they will take what they felt worked really well. And I'll just give an example, 48 hours, and say, you know what? Every week, I'm going to do a 48-hour extended fast and then do my regular keto after that. And that kind of helps push things along. It mixes things up because we tend to stick to the same old, right? A lot of times we stick to the same calories every day. Lots of times we stick to the same food, and your body just is not challenged enough. And so when you mix that in, it really helps with plateaus. But this longer one that we're doing for a week, to me, it's the holy grail of breaking a plateau, getting out of our comfort zones, really getting the blood glucose down, just really pushing out any of that glycogen that's in our bodies, just getting that out, and doing a huge detox at the same time. So it's like this quadruple win. It really is awesome doing this longer week one. Then after this week is done, you can see if maybe you just want to fit it in every week or every second week or something like that. Or this was good and you just want to do your normal keto and maybe do this a few times a year. Totally up to you. But I really am considering doing 148-hour fast once a week. And for me, eating on Sunday night And then not eating till Tuesday night works really good because I'm super busy on Mondays. I come on here with you guys and chat, and it's just a really busy couple of days in my week. And so I think that might actually work really well for me. Kim, I'm a rerun and need to change things up. Yes. Yes, I know. It's really easy to kind of stick in our comfort zones, and even in keto. I mean, I admit it. I really enjoy keto food and I can stick to my same old. I can go too high of calories on keto, especially if I'm not tracking. And I fully admit that I don't love tracking all the time. So a lot of times I don't. And I think I really do go higher in calories than what my body actually requires in order to lose weight. And so just throwing in some fasting just really helps make up for that. Definitely. Catherine, I'm so excited for this challenge. I could see this doing this quarterly. We absolutely could do this quarterly. I am happy to do this quarterly. I was actually making a list of, like, we've done so many different challenges in the group, and this one I think is going really well. The other one, when we did the 21-day consistency challenge, I see that one being a January and a September, because that's definitely a more of a commitment of 21 full days. But January, you're kind of getting back after Christmas, and September, you're kind of getting back after the summer. So I see those being good for there. But then this one and the 7-day macro tracking challenge, our 3-day bone broth cleanse. I can't remember what else. We've done some mini ones like, drinking water and exercising. Those are just kind of like little ones. But anyways, just kind of rotating through these challenges. And if this one goes really well, and if everyone loves this, and I'll survey the group, we could pencil this one in for a quarterly. And I could actually get a schedule. I could actually make a schedule for the whole year so everybody knows what we're doing for the full year. What do you guys think about that? And then every month what the challenge is going to be. I've been running a challenge every month for probably 3 years now, other than if I'm on a longer vacation, or like in the summertime. I don't typically do it because everyone's got a summer off or whatever, but the rest of it, I do. So if you guys like this idea, I can plan out a whole year, run it by you guys, see what you think, and then everybody knows ahead of time what our challenges are going to be. I think it could be really fun, really keep us on track. Not every challenge is going to suit every person, but at least if the 1 month doesn't, then the next month probably will. So we can just totally mix it up that way. Yay! All right, you guys love it. Catherine loves it. Rochelle loves it. Raylene loves it. Karenza loves it. Oh, that's great. Awesome. Yeah, I think it'd be really good. Really good for me too. I would really appreciate that. Helps me with my planning. Sometimes I'm trying to think, like, what did we do last time? And what is everybody talking about in the group? I'm trying to read the group and see what people want. So yeah, that's great. Awesome. Okay. I will work on that. I will absolutely work on that and run it by you guys. See what you think. Kim, that would be so helpful, and we could jump in when it works. Yes, exactly. Everybody would know ahead of time. Oh, I'm getting a lot of likes and loves here. Okay, good. That's a given. Okay, I just want to look on my notes and see if there's anything else that I didn't talk about. Oh yeah, I wanted to quickly talk about things to avoid, things that are helpful while we're doing this challenge and fasting, and things that to avoid. So let's talk about the helpful. Like I talked to you guys many times, the good digestive drink I find really, really helpful. You don't have to do it exactly as I have it. Some people just take like a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and put it in water, and they call that there, and that right there is super good for your digestion. I like to have this drink twice a day when I'm fasting. When I'm not, like an extended fast, when I'm not doing an extended fast, I just have it in the morning and that's all I have it. But I do find that when I'm fasting, I think it kind of helps like flush things out a little bit more because we are detoxifying. It fills me up a little bit. It helps with the hunger. Just another thing to have, right? Like it's just nice to have things to look forward to. So I do have that twice a day. Also, I find when I break my fast, having digestive enzymes really, really helps. It's kind of like if you guys have ever been, if you have a cold or flu or something like that, and when you haven't eaten for a while and your digestion gets a little bit off, and then you go to eat again after you've been sick, say, and then you go, it's just not really sitting right. There's something just not sitting right. It's your digestion is just a little bit out of balance, and sometimes it just needs a little bit of help. And I find things like digestive enzymes, probiotics, bone broth, the broth, and then bone broth, my bone broth protein powder. Um, that really helps. It really supports the gut. It helps make the gut really happy, and it transitions you very well into eating regular foods. So I find those things super helpful. Also, collagen peptides, my intentionally bare collagen peptides. That's another great thing. So I kind of make up a little concoction when I go to eat. It'll be something like I'll take my digestive enzymes, I'll drink my good digestion drink, maybe 15 minutes or something like that. After that, then I will make a bone broth drink that I will make with my, what do I got here? Yeah, my bone broth protein powder, and I will put in my collagen peptides. And depending on how I'm feeling, I'll either make it like a dessert. Sorry, I'll either make it like a dessert drink, with my almond milk, and I'll use some flavored sweetener or something like that and make it like French vanilla or something. Or I will just add broth to it, like hot broth, and it's just like a hot drink. I will usually have that as sort of my appetizer before I have my meal when I break my fast. Again, just from experience, I just find it really, really helps. It just makes my stomach feel really good. And then when I'm eating food, it just sits really nice. Whereas before I was doing those things and I would just jump right into eating, even if it was like super healthy food, I just felt like it just didn't sit quite right in my gut. Other things too, of course, we've talked about kimchi, sauerkraut, those kind of things are really great for repopulating the gut with a good bacteria. If you're into those kind of foods, that's always kind of nice to have a few mouthfuls of that before you have your food or have it with your food. Let me see, what else do I have here? We'll talk about things to avoid in a second. Catherine, will you be having your meals prepped ahead of time? It kind of depends on my day, Catherine. It depends on how busy I am. I do find that like today, I'm not really thinking about it today, but tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm like, giddy, knowing that I'm going to be having dinner that night. So then I get kind of excited and I'm kind of figuring out what I'm going to have, and I'll look in the freezer and plan something out. I mean, sometimes I do plan out the meals if we're kind of busy, and I'll look in recipe books or whatever, but generally on the day of is kind of when I plan it out, because I want to have whatever I'm feeling. Like if I'm having a craving for tuna, I'm going to have tuna. If I have a craving for shrimp or steak or whatever, it's like whatever I'm craving that morning, that day, whatever, that's what I'm going to have for dinner. Because you know what? Damn it, I deserve it. after fasting for 48 hours, I feel like I absolutely deserve whatever my little heart desires for dinner. I'm keeping it keto, of course. Um, Things to avoid. Okay. Hard to digest foods. I don't want to necessarily say like one category of food because each person is totally different. But I can tell you for me, I find dairy to be quite hard to digest. And sometimes certain kind of meats like steak, it's just me. I don't know. I just find them a little bit harder to digest. I'm not saying that I don't have it. I do have it. But those are just things to think about when you're having your meal. I find for myself, easy things to digest would be fish, chicken, seafood, veggies, all kinds of veggies. I'll have all that kind of stuff. If I'm having a salad, I always drizzle my MCT oil on the top of it, get the good oils in, that kind of a thing. So if you know for yourself what is a food that doesn't always sit right with you, and you know for yourself, maybe it's like even like say like natural peanut butter. Some people have problems with peanuts. Some people have problems with eggs. Some people have problems with dairy. Everyone is totally uniquely different. Whatever you feel like you sometimes have an issue with, I would caution you that maybe during this week that we're doing this challenge, maybe don't have those foods when you're breaking your fast just for this week, just because it's just like a little bit harder. Your body is just going through a little bit of a transition here, and it might be a little bit harder to digest those foods. Patty, I did a practice 48-hour fast last week and just went straight into my meal. It was really not well for a good part of the night because my stomach just wasn't ready for that big, heavy supper. Exactly. And you know what? It could be partially because of the size, like you said, because of a big thing. It could also be because of what it was. And this is where I'm saying this is where I kind of gradually go into it. Like I have my good digestive drink, kind of let that sit for like 15 minutes. Then I have my, I'll call it my anti-aging shake with my bone broth and my collagen or whatever. Then I'll have that, let that sit for maybe 15, 20 minutes. And then I go into my meal. And usually what I do is I'm drinking these things as I'm kind of prepping dinner, as I'm kind of getting my dinner ready or whatever. So by the time dinner's ready, like I've had my drinks or whatever, and I find that works really well than just having one big gigantic meal. And like I said, Patty, it could have been what you were having too. Like I don't know if you can remember back to what you ate, but if it was pretty heavy and possibly dairy or maybe red meat, that can sometimes be problematic for some people. The other thing I wanted to say, sorry, I go back and forth here, but the things to avoid, the other thing too is really, really try. I know you feel like it's well deserved, but really, really try to stay away from high carb foods when you're breaking your fast. And I'll tell you why. Our bodies are more sensitive. We're more insulin sensitive, which means that we can actually get rebound weight quicker. I know that sounds really unfair after what we've just gone through with our fasting, but that is what happens. And you don't want to get that rebound weight. Also, it kind of doesn't feel very good. You can get very bloated. You can feel just awful. It's just not really good. So, really stick with your vegetables, your protein, and your fat. Really stick with those kind of things. I've actually done extended fasts where I kind of went, you know what? I just fasted for 72 hours. If I want to have a piece of pizza or whatever, I'm just going to do it. And no, oh gosh, no, not to mention the rebound weight, but I just felt awful. Absolutely felt awful. So really stick to your keto fare, keep your carbs nice and low, and you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. And even when we're done this and you're getting back into your normal lifestyle or whatever, try not to have a one and done if you can help it. Try to stay away from that for at least a few days after you're done the fasting because it's so disappointing to have that rebound weight. It is mostly water, not going to lie, it will come off down the road, but it's just really disheartening after you've worked so hard and then to get that rebound weight. So you don't want to do that. And you just want to feel amazing too, right? Uh, Patty, it was very heavy and I ate too much. Nothing actually was as delicious as I thought it would be. Isn't that funny? That's so true. It's so true. And I found for myself, especially when it's non-keto stuff, because like I said, I fasted and then I jumped right into like non-keto one and done or whatever. And then after I ate it, I went, wasn't even that good. Like I can't believe I kind of played it up in my mind that it was going to be so amazing and then it really wasn't. I really would have been totally happy with, an absolute keto meal and not super big and just eating like healthy like that. But I do find that the longer I fast and also the more regularly I incorporate fasting and longer fasting in my lifestyle, the less I feel like I want to kind of binge that way and eat really big meals and really kind of go off. And that's why I really wanted to do this week to get myself back into the game and help you guys get back into the game, but also to figure out now what do I want to do on a regular basis? Like, how do I want to fit this in on a regular basis? Because, truth be told, the last year has not been the greatest, and I have definitely not been doing a lot of fasting, and I really, really miss it. Just getting prepared for this, I have been doing more fasting, and I feel so much better than I have in a long time. And now today, I feel awesome, and I just really want to keep the momentum going. So we'll talk about that towards the end of our fasting challenge this week, and just see where you guys are at, and see if you want to incorporate this as part of your life. But anyways, that was my main message today. I just wanted to explain to you guys the different ways that you can do this. Don't feel like there's only one way to do it. There is absolutely not one way to do this. Just like keto, you have to do what works for you and don't worry about what other people are saying, and do your own experiments, do your own testing and see what fits for you. Follow the experts out there, combine all that information and see what kind of feels right for you. But this week is just awesome. I'm just so excited. Raylyn, congratulations on your first extended fast. And this is so great that you're doing it. I'm really, really excited. You are going to be absolutely blown away with how you're going to feel at the end of this week. I cannot wait to hear about it. Anyways, you guys all have a really nice night. And for those of you that are fasting today, have a cup of tea, go take a walk, go clean something. Okay, you guys have a really nice night. Nice talking to you. Take care. Bye. Happy Thanksgiving, Canadians. Hey guys, before you go, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time we have a new video posted. Also, down in the description, I will have links to everything that we talked about in our chat today, including information on how you can join my Intentionally Bare Keto support group. See you next time.